I'm Amy the Bunny Lady, and these are my partners, Elusive, Teddy Bear. And today we're going to talk about some of the best parts and some of the worst parts about having rabbits as pets. What's up, Teddy Bear? If you are new to our channel, welcome. We give tips and tricks for how to make sure you have a happy and healthy bunny in your home. So if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscription button and the notification bell next to it so you never miss any of our weekly videos. We're going to start with the bad news and then get on to the good news later. So the first thing that is not so great about having pet rabbits is that they will chew on everything. See, rabbits have this natural instinct to just chew on things. It's part of their natural behavior. It's just an instinct. It can't really be unlearned. And the reason for this is actually rabbits have teeth that continue to grow forever. They're kind of like fingernails in that way. If they don't chew on things and eat pretty frequently throughout the day, and their teeth run the risk of becoming overgrown. Because of this, rabbits will often end up chewing on things we don't want them to chew on, whether it be the legs of furniture. Baseboards are a big problem with rabbits. Really anything cardboard or anything that your rabbit can get their teeth on. Oh, they'll try to chew. Rabbits will chew on anything. So that is definitely something to expect if you get a rabbit, and you'll need to learn how to rabbit-proof the things that you don't want your rabbit to chew on. Another thing that comes as a surprise to many new rabbit caretakers is that rabbits actually don't like to be held. They're not necessarily super cuddly pets, even though the popular opinion, popular belief is that they are. So this isn't the kind of pet that you can pick up all the time and they'll be happy just laying in your arms. There are exceptions to this rule, but most of the time a rabbit is not going to be a cuddly pet, and this can be a real negative for some people because, like, many dogs love to be cuddled. Many cats are also very cuddly animals, but for the most part for rabbits that's not going to be the case. So don't get a rabbit expecting that. Now, rabbits do often love to be pet, but they prefer if you would do that while they're on the ground rather than in your arms. That's just a perspective shift that many people don't expect when they first get a rabbit. Rabbits also have a very complicated diet and sensitive digestive system. Their health works in a way that if their digestion isn't constantly moving, it can end up being a real health emergency. So they have this very specific diet to make sure that they can, get the proper nutrients from their diet and not gain too much weight and become obese, while also being able to continue eating throughout the day and maintaining their health. So you can't just give a rabbit a bowl of dry food pellets at the beginning of the day and expect that to be good enough for them. Instead, there are many different parts of rabbit diet, the main part being hay that I have back here. You want your rabbit to have constant access to hay throughout the day. That's the one thing that they can eat that they can't overeat on that, because it just continues to go through their digestive system, keep it moving and keep them healthy. And then the dry food pellets, you only want to give them a small amount each day. It depends on the weight of your rabbit and how big they are, because a 2-pound rabbit is not going to eat the same as a 10-pound rabbit. If you want to know more about specific amounts to feed your rabbit, I do have a video on the Rabbit Diet 101 that you can check out. So head on over there if you want specifics, but you just want a small amount of pellets, and then you do also want to give them fresh leafy greens every day. These help to ensure that they get the nutrients and vitamins that they need from their diet, and it gives them an overall variety, which leads to more wholesome health. And then treats, things like carrots, things like bananas, strawberries, these sweet fruits and vegetables like that should really only be given as treats in very small amounts, because they can end up messing with the balance in the rabbit's gut and messing with their digestion and causing health problems. So we want to keep those treats, some of which, like, people will think of carrots as a main rabbit food, just in small amounts, maybe a tablespoon every day. So figuring out the rabbit's diet is another aspect that can be kind of complicated, especially if you are new to caring for rabbits. A lot of people also think of rabbits as children's pets, and this is another perspective shift that we need to make, because rabbits really don't make great pets for children, and one of the reasons for this is that rabbits are pretty fragile. Compared to other common house pets, rabbits have a delicate bone structure, and it's especially complicated because they have very strong hind legs with a relatively weak back. So if they're held incorrectly or they're squeezed too much, then their back can actually break, or they can be kicking with their hind legs and they can become paralyzed. So you have to be careful with the way you hold your rabbit. You have to make sure that you handle them with care because if you don't, then they can easily be injured. And then another aspect of rabbit care that many people don't talk about is the amount of fur that you're going to see. So rabbits actually shed a lot. Even short-haired rabbits are going to end up shedding quite a lot. And the fur is going to get everywhere. It's going to get in your food, it's going to get in your tea, it's going to get on your shirts. To some extent, I've given up just trying to leave the house without fur on me because it gets everywhere. And it's going to, unless you are a super fastidious cleaner and you dust every day, you're gonna get fur everywhere. So it's something that you're either gonna just have to get used to, or you're gonna have to up your cleaning game. So that is something to expect when you get a rabbit. But enough with all the negative stuff. Let's talk about some of my favorite reasons and the reasons I think that rabbits can actually be great pets. The first is that rabbits are typically very quiet pets. They don't vocalize very much, so they don't meow, do that annoying meow in the morning to wake you up for their breakfast from cats, and they're not going to bark when a stranger passes by the house. They are very quiet. Rabbits can thump, and that can be pretty loud, but that's not typically a behavior that they're going to do all the time. Occasionally rabbits will thump. Hi Silly, what's up? Usually it's just occasionally rabbits will thump, and yes, it is loud enough to wake you up in the middle of the night if that's when they choose to do it, but that's not typically very common. Since rabbits are quiet pets, you also don't have to worry about them annoying your neighbors as much, so they can actually be great apartment pets. And just if you like a quiet lifestyle, rabbits can actually be a great addition to your household. Rabbits can also be litter trained, so they don't have to go out for walks like dogs, and it's not like having a small rodent who is unable to control their bladder at all. Now, they're not quite as easily litter trained as cats most of the time, but often it doesn't take too much extra effort, especially if your rabbits have been spayed or neutered. Most of the time, they will automatically try to keep their bathroom and their droppings in one spot, and you can put the litter box in that spot to encourage them to use it. Sometimes it'll be a little bit more complicated for rabbits that are more stubborn, but they can be litter trained, and that makes it a lot easier to care for them and keep them as house pets because they're not going to be making a mess all around the house. Rabbits are also great because they really don't smell very much. The only part with rabbits that does smell is their urine, and if they have a litter box, you can easily just scoop out, spot clean the litter box every day and keep any smell from building up. So you're not going to come home to that wet dog smell. They don't have a lot of noticeable pheromones, at least to humans, so they tend to be a relatively scentless pet. It's believed that part of the reason for this is because having very little scent actually protects them a little bit from predators, so the predator will have a little bit of a harder time tracking them based on their smell. So that's why rabbits tend to be not smelly pets in general, because it's a protection mechanism. Another great part about having rabbits is they actually do have a relatively long lifespan. So it's not like you're going to get a rabbit and then you only have 2 years to spend with them before they pass on. Rabbits can actually live on average 8 to 12 years. So so you can have 10 years with a lovable rabbit and become best friends and make them a part of your lifestyle. While that's not as long as most cats and dogs, it is still, compared to many other small animals that you can get, it is quite a long time. It is a great way to, pick an animal that you want to have a life with. And my favorite part about rabbits is that they are very social animals. While traditionally rabbits have been kept kind of apart from people in hutches or in cages, I really advocate for keeping rabbits as companion pets, keeping them kind of like cats and dogs, because rabbits actually really love hanging out with people. They're very social, they love attention, they love being pet. I love you. And it's really a great way to bring like a little bit of bouncing joy into your life. And while it can take a little bit of time for rabbits to warm up to you because they have kind of scared prey instincts, once they do, they're really going to love you and love hanging out with you. They're really great for having a social pet as long as you're willing to like put the time and attention into them and giving them a chance to see you as a companion. If you are new to caring for rabbits and you want more information, I do have a free PDF you can go and get. It goes over the basics of rabbit care, and you can also end up going onto my newsletter where I give tips and tricks bi-monthly all about rabbit care and some of the things that I've learned from both having rabbits for basically my entire life, but also from volunteering with rabbits at the animal shelter and everything that I have learned about rabbits. So feel free to check that out if that's something you'd be interested in. And thank you so much for watching. I do hope that we will see you next week.